My wife asked for an open marriage. Then this happened. Before we begin the story, make sure to subscribe to our channel and never miss more incredible stories every day. My cheating wife blew up our marriage. My wife, let's call her Emily, 37, started a new job about 4.5 months ago, and she picked up a fresh circle of friends there. I'm Dan, 36, and from day one I had a bad feeling about that crew. They were the kind of people who preach hardline ideology and look for offense in everyday manners. Open a door, don't open a door, either way you're the villain. At first I brushed it off with a laugh, figured it was just a phase. But over the last 2 months, I watched Emily change in ways that honestly scared me. We've been married 11 years and have 2 kids. Our daughter Sophie is 10 and our son Jake is 8. The tension kept ramping up. She started accusing me of wild stuff, like I was somehow born bad because men oppressed women in history. I do the little things she used to appreciate, and suddenly those same things were reasons to argue. I tried to stay calm and patient. Most fights ended with me saying, "I haven't done anything to hurt you. The only thing I'm guilty of is loving you." She'd grumble and go quiet, and the next day the cycle would start again with a slightly different angle. About 5 weeks back, my gut told me something was really wrong. She came home late without a heads up, didn't answer her phone, stumbled and drunk, and acted cold and distant. The following day she brushed me off, said I was controlling, said I was reading too much into things. That happened a few more times. I tried checking her phone and couldn't prove anything, but I could tell a lot of messages had been wiped. I did find a chat with one of her new friends where they talked about how she should ask me for an open relationship. That's when it clicked. She was already cheating. In that thread, Emily said she'd bring it up with me on the second Monday of December. Our kids were with their grandparents for Christmas, and both of us were supposed to join them today. So she sits down at breakfast and casually asks what I think about an open marriage, like it just popped into her head. I was ready for it, and already recording. I'd read enough stories to know there's usually no saving it, and my best move was to protect myself and our kids and keep some shred of dignity. I didn't yell. I switched straight into a tight, controlled mode. She had been cocky, but that vanished the second she saw my face. Me, who is he? Her, what do you mean? All innocent. Me. If you want to have this conversation, don't treat me like an idiot. Be honest. If you can't be honest, there's no point. Her, what do you mean? Me. If you lie, we can't discuss anything. You're clearly hiding something. Who's the guy you're sleeping with? Her, I'm not. Me. Oh my God, there's more than one. Her, me, stop lying. You just destroyed my trust. Either you tell the truth and we talk, or I file for divorce right now. No debate. Do you understand? Her, but me, say it. Do you understand that if you lie, I'll divorce you? Say it. And understand I already know a lot. Her, I understand. Then she admitted to 2 one-night stands while out with friends. I asked for names, whether they were married, and whether she used protection. Both men were married with kids. Then she told me she planned to sleep with a coworker and intended to keep doing it because it was good for her, and that I had no right to stop her. The coworker, let's call him Derek, is married too, supposedly in an open marriage. She even said she'd set me up with one of her friends, Brittany, who was keen. I said no thanks. I asked for her phone, and she showed me the unlock pattern. While she went to the bathroom, I locked myself in my office. She freaked out and pounded on the door, but I ran recovery software and pulled up a ton of deleted proof inside half an hour. I also installed a monitoring app. When I came out, I handed back the phone and told her to leave. She argued nonstop. I stuck to one-word answers. She showed zero remorse, just shouted that I was controlling and holding her back, like men had always held women back, and that she had every right to do this and expected me to accept it. I didn't take the bait. I packed her things while she circled and yelled. At the front door, I just stood there silently until she burned out. She finally left for her parents' place. On the stairs, I told her she was single now and free to do whatever she wanted. I said my lawyer would be in touch in January. Then I shut and locked the door. Later, I watched her group chats. Her friends hyped her up, told her she was strong, that she deserved better than me, that my divorce talk was just empty threats. They even suggested that if it got messy, she could accuse me of domestic abuse. One bragged about doing that to her ex and taking everything. That terrified me. I ordered cameras for the house that day. I decided I'd record everything from now on. Then she messaged her affair partner, let's name him Adam, and set up a hotel meet. I tracked down Adam's wife, Sarah, through Facebook, got her to accept my request, and told her everything, right down to the hotel. She thanked me and hung up. A few hours later, she sent me a video. She'd gone to the motel and confronted them. From the screaming, this wasn't Adam's first time cheating. She stormed into the room, and there's Emily on the edge of the bed, getting dressed. I threw up the first time I saw it. Sarah slapped Emily and ripped into her. I texted Emily that I'd seen the video and never wanted her near me again. Since then, Emily has treated every interaction like a contest she thinks she's winning. She acts unmoored from reality, like divorce isn't actually happening. I posted in her family WhatsApp that we're divorcing due to her infidelity, thanked them for welcoming me all these years, and left the group. Her relatives called and messaged, but I didn't answer. I didn't have the energy. I told my parents everything. My dad told Emily she wasn't welcome for Christmas. I'm staying with my folks now. My boss gave me time off until mid-January to get my life sorted. I kept monitoring Emily's frantic chats with her new friends. I don't think she's realized she's lost her family. She still believes Adam and those friends actually care about her. She blew up my phone with messages and even showed up at my parents' house demanding to join Christmas. My father said he'd call the police if she didn't leave. I'm here Googling divorce lawyers and crying my eyes out. Shock wore off, and the pain hit full force once I got to my parents' place. Reading those chats shreds me. I've only replied twice. Message 1. It doesn't matter what you say. I don't know who you are. You're not my wife. My wife would never crush my heart and soul with a smile. We're getting divorced. I don't care what you want. You no longer get to demand anything from me. We're done. Message 2. Like I said, you're not my wife. My wife would never choose to put our kids through a broken home. You seem proud of what you've done. My wife was loving and considerate, my best friend. You're a self-absorbed abomination. After that, she stopped texting. The pain still comes in waves so strong I can barely breathe. Part of me wishes none of this had happened, wishes I could rewind life, but I can't do that to myself. This is the worst Christmas I've ever had. I slipped and told the kids straight. Mommy doesn't want to be a family with me anymore. She wants to be with other men, and we're getting divorced. They were devastated. Thank God for my parents. They're pouring love on the kids while I'm a wreck. I'll stand back up for my kids, but I'm not going back to Emily. I wish I'd waited until after Christmas so I could get them straight into counseling. I blurted it out when they asked when Mom was coming. I couldn't look at myself if I took her back. The disrespect and coldness are beyond forgiving. I feel lost and confused that she still thinks she can demand anything from me. Is she mentally ill? I don't know. Sorry for the rant. I had to get it out. Edit. I checked with a lawyer a friend knows. I'm allowed to monitor the phone. The phone and plan are in my name, and she's using my device, so tracking and retrieving deleted content is legal. Update 1. Cheating wife ruined family and Christmas. Why does she expect me to be okay with her behavior? A ton has happened since I posted. I wish I could say I handled it like a champ, but I've been a sobbing mess. I got stuck rereading Emily's group chats, and the worst part was her describing, harshly, how marriage and especially our kids were a burden that kept her from her full potential. She called me an oppressive piece of garbage holding her back from a good life, like our family is why she didn't have a big career and piles of casual sex. There were no real examples, just sweeping claims. Truth is, I've never stopped her from anything. I pay for almost everything. Her part-time wages can't support one person, let alone a family. I backed her hobbies and dreams, even when she signed up for courses and quit halfway through. I romanced her, took her out, told her I appreciated her. If that's oppression, sign me up. Eventually I crashed. When I woke up, my 3 best friends were in my parents' kitchen with my dad cooking dinner. I've known them since childhood. Kevin, Ryan, and Tom. My dad had filled them in. I broke down again and barely held it together until Friday night. Kevin is former military, lost his left forearm. We were there for him during recovery when his wife left. Thankfully, they didn't have kids. He later adopted 2 kids and met a great girlfriend. He's doing well now. He set up a Zoom with the counselor who helped him. That guy walked me through what was happening emotionally. He said even though he mainly counsels amputees, there's a pattern. Spouses often leave injured partners, and the grief is like losing a limb. He said a big chunk of my identity was tied to being a husband. That part is gone. so I'll feel phantom pain from a missing piece of myself. It clicked, and I've been improving since. Ryan is an executive at a big security company. Quiet guy, very successful. He called in a law firm on retainer for his company, and by Sunday morning I was on the phone with an attorney I could never afford otherwise. Ryan was bullied as a kid. He told me not to worry about the bill. He'd cover it. Said he finally had a way to repay me for the times I stepped in for him back then. Tom teaches at a private school and has 7 kids. My 2 love him and his family. He's been making sure Sophie and Jake are okay while I pull myself together. Yesterday was packed. I started with an STD panel at dawn. Turns out Emily gave me chlamydia. I'll need a recheck in 6 months. That news flipped me from grief to white-hot anger. I'm done being gentle. I'm going for full custody and giving her nothing if the law allows. My lawyer tracked down the ex-husband of Brittany, one of Emily's loudest friends, the one who bragged about destroying her ex in court. Easy to find through public records. I spoke with him, call him Jason. He thanked me and told me how Brittany wrecked his life with lies. He's been homeless, barely sees his kids. It was sickening and sobering. Now I know what to expect from Emily's camp. I'm preparing for war, and I accept I'm at a disadvantage as a man in family court. I'll bring evidence, lots of it. My lawyer recommended a preemptive restraining order based on Emily's openly hostile comments about men, especially for Jake's sake. An anti-male parent figure is damaging. I told her to file. She expected it to be served today. I had a Zoom with Emily. She hadn't reached out to me or the kids since she argued with my dad at the door. She logged on all done up. Heavy makeup, deep neckline. The most put together I've seen her in years. Throughout the call, she tried to bait me into anger. I kept calm and recorded it, told her I was, too. My attorney said it looks better if we try for an amicable divorce before going contested. Emily opened with some bizarre monologue about 2 types of penises, ones that stay about the same size and ones that shrink and grow, and said she couldn't wait for restrictions to lift so she could research more in person. I told her I wasn't interested in her hobbies and only wanted to discuss divorce. She got hostile when I didn't bite. At one point, she muted to use the bathroom. Then I watched her consult her friends and chat about how to play me. She insulted me for being a man more than once. She treated the whole thing like a game she was winning, like I had no choice but to accept her terms. We made 0 progress, so I ended it with, "Okay, contested divorce it is. By the way, you gave me chlamydia, and unlike you, I haven't been with anyone else, so go to the clinic." She frowned and said she didn't believe me. I sent the recording to my lawyer. She was stunned. Everyone now thinks Emily is acting unhinged. Since the phone and plan are mine, those recovered in live chats are admissible. It's legal to monitor my own device. After that call, her group chat went nuts, but I finally stopped caring what they say. My lawyer's confident we'll win unless I'm hiding something. It still aches, but it feels like phantom pain now. I'm done with self-pity. I'm protecting myself and my kids. No prisoners. Therapy for the kids, as much as they want. Emily will be a distant memory. I'll build a better life. Edit. Found out she knew about the chlamydia, got treated, and kept it from me. Laughed about it with her friends. That one broke something in me all over again. Update 2. People keep telling me I'm strong or winning. I get why it reads that way, but I'm not. I wish this never happened. I wanted the quiet life, marriage, kids growing up, us growing old together. No one wins here. Emily has gone off the rails, and the whole train is burning in a ditch. She refuses to see a doctor, shows no remorse, acts like I'm unreasonable for not accepting whatever she wants, and barely speaks to the kids. I'm divorcing because I have to. There's no way back. I cry most nights over what's been lost, and over the fact my kids won't have the home they deserve. It kills me that their relationship with their mom has basically collapsed. Question I can't answer. Dad, why doesn't Mom want to see me? Doesn't she love me? If anyone has a good answer, I'm listening. Every day, I think my heart can't break any further, and every day it proves me wrong. The restraining order hearing was yesterday. Since there were no new direct threats, it wasn't extended. My lawyer wants to leverage the fact Emily knowingly infected me to push for an uncontested divorce. I wish we could separate reasonably. I hate viewing her as an enemy. If she wanted to leave, I could accept it. But why torch everything and hurt the people who loved her most? What's the upside? If we go to court, I'll likely owe her a lump sum for house equity and so on, but probably not alimony. She shows little interest in the kids, so I'm hopeful for custody. We're trying for an amicable deal first and aiming to meet with her and a representative this week. Jason, the ex of Brittany, spent New Year's Eve with me and the kids. The system can be brutal to dads. He had no proof against her lies and lost almost everything. With the evidence from me, he has hope again. My lawyer says he should hold it until we meet Emily. No need to show our hand early. Goal 1. Get me divorced quickly and cleanly. I just need out. If she fights, it could drag on. Update 3. The weirdness continues. We met yesterday. Me, my lawyer, Emily, and one of her new friends. Call that friend Ashley. Emily arrived 30 minutes late without a lawyer and claimed she didn't need one. My lawyer gave me strict rules. Stay calm, be non-confrontational, and if she put both hands flat on the table, I was to keep my mouth shut. They showed up laughing and trying to provoke me. My lawyer kept steering toward the divorce terms. They joked and sniped. Emily still acted like this was pretend, like only she could decide if we divorce, and if she did, she'd get everything. I barely spoke, just maybe, or I don't know. Eventually, they ran low on steam. My lawyer began presenting the proposed settlement for an amicable divorce. She said I was willing to be generous for peace, a one-time payment of $60,000 for equity and investments, etc. Emily lit up, wanted to sign immediately. My lawyer asked if she wanted to read the rest. Emily didn't care, wanted to know when the money would hit, and told Ashley they needed to get to the bar. My lawyer quietly brought in a notary. We handed over IDs, signed copies, and the notary stamped them. Emily and Ashley left without even taking Emily's copy of the agreement. When they were out of the building, my lawyer looked at me and said, "Congratulations." She said it was the strangest negotiated divorce she'd ever seen. She'll send Emily's copy after we see the judge, or if Emily hires counsel who requests it. Until then, it sits in my lawyer's drawer. It's not over until the judge signs, and Emily can still lawyer up and contest it, but my attorney is calling in favors to get a hearing ASAP. I also hired a PI who photographed Emily making out with 2 different guys at 2 bars last night, then heading to a hotel with one. Evidence pile keeps growing. As of now, Emily signed to give me full custody, no spousal support, just the $60,000, and we're done. Ryan offered to front the money if I need it. I'm still expecting the surprise move, some wild accusation. My lawyer told me to keep a low profile, keep paying what I normally pay, and don't poke the bear. So that's what I'm doing. Update 4. We had the hearing. I'm basically divorced. It'll take 4 to 6 months for the paperwork to finalize, and the only way it stops is if both of us ask to stop it. I'm exhausted and running on no sleep, so bear with me. Friday morning, police knocked with a warrant to search my house. I was shaken and asked if I could take the kids outside. They agreed. They didn't tell me much, but the warrant was legit. Thankfully, I have cameras now. Everything was recorded. Later, I learned Emily and 3 of her friends had taken my car while high and drunk, crashed into a house at high speed, and got arrested. All were drunk. All had drugs in or on them. One passenger was in critical condition. The warrant triggered searches of everyone's homes, including mine, because Emily is still technically registered at my address. They tore through my place and left it trashed. I broke down afterward. My dad took me and the kids to my parents' house. Then he rallied 26 friends and relatives who cleaned and repaired my entire home. Ceilings, walls, laundry, dishes, loose door handles, everything. I went from suicidal to grateful over one weekend. Police found more drugs at Ashley's place. Her boyfriend was gone, no babysitter, kids left alone. CPS took them, and Jason won temporary emergency custody Saturday after the judge saw the chat logs and the abandonment/drugs situation. He's over the moon, had barely seen his kids in 5 years. Ashley is facing serious charges and might do time. More if her friend doesn't make it. I decided I'm selling my house and moving. I'm afraid this chaos will keep finding us. Emily's parents called Sunday. Their place got searched too. They visited Emily in jail Saturday and realized she'd been lying to them. She told them that on the nights she was out partying and cheating, she was at my house, working things out. They thought it was a one-time drunken mistake. Monday she called me for bail, $15K. Her parents already told her no. My lawyer drafted papers, so any bail I paid would be deducted from the settlement and held by her mom until Emily appeared in court. We didn't want her skipping the hearing. Emily signed and was released Monday. Her parents set conditions: no drugs, commit to rehab, full transparency, ditch the bad friends. She refused and left Tuesday to stay with those friends. She no-showed the hearing, and the judge, after seeing everything, including the weekend's events, granted me full custody and accepted the settlement terms. The hearing lasted about 30 minutes. It'll still take 4 to 6 months to rubber stamp, but functionally, it's done. Today the hospital called. I'm still her emergency contact and she's still on my insurance. Emily was beaten up, lost teeth, broken jaw, needs observation. I brought her parents. Turns out her new friends did it. Word got out that Jason had the chat logs of Ashley bragging about destroying him, and they assumed Emily gave him the logs. They beat her and tossed her out. She still doesn't get that I can monitor her phone. I'll keep paying insurance and the phone until the decree's in my hand. I won't relax until I see it. Emily asked to move back home. I said, not a chance. Her mom won't give her a dime unless she gets clean for a year and follows strict house rules. Emily said, I'm sorry I ruined everything, but it didn't feel genuine. She barely made eye contact. It hurt seeing her like that. I wanted to protect her, but she's an adult and dangerous right now. She didn't ask about the hearing or the condition of her critically injured friend. She just seemed irritated. I still don't understand how a person throws away everything: family, home, stability, for a buzz and random sex. I'm going no contact until she's been clean for a long time. I can't manage the chaos. Update 5. A lot of you asked for another update. I almost wrote this yesterday, but didn't have it in me. I'm depressed and bone-tired. Sleep is rare, and when it comes, it's nightmares. The good news: the kids are doing better. My dad is a hero. He took us up to his cabin for some skiing this weekend. Me, him, and the kids, and it helped. I have essentially no contact with Emily. I did speak to the friend who was in critical condition, call her Kelsey. She woke up, but she's in bad shape. Her nurse said nobody visited. Her family refused. I worried the guys who beat Emily would come for me and the kids, so I asked through the nurse if I could talk to Kelsey. She agreed. I wanted to understand what happened once Emily started hanging with them. Kelsey opened with, "Do you want a service for $20? Which was heartbreaking. I offered $50 for information instead. She said the friend group are hardcore drug users. Ashley pulled Emily in over the others' objections, got her to try drugs and party, and they traded sexual favors for drug money. Ashley led the charge. They wrapped it all in my body, my choice, talked to protect their egos. But as Kelsey put it, we were prostituting ourselves to buy drugs. Emily bought the pitch, got hooked, and eventually started selling sex to feed the habit. I can barely type that. It explains why she suddenly only cared about cash. Mostly meth, according to Kelsey. Nobody visited her in the hospital because she'd stolen from and lied to everyone. She said she was sad she survived. No hope for the future. Without makeup, she looked like a ghost. I cried for Emily, even after everything. Choices are choices, but addiction grabbed her and didn't let go. Kelsey also named the guys who beat Emily. I told Jason. Remember, he benefited from the chat logs, and he decided to settle it. He's a massive, farm-strong dude with scars and a crew cut. Looks terrifying, but is gentle by nature. He knocked on their door and gave them a choice. Walk with him to the police and confess, or face him right there. They picked the police, fast. I'm no longer worried they'll show up. I found a new apartment, and I'm moving soon. Ryan helped again. I'm still very low. What keeps me moving are the kids, friends, and family. I don't regret marrying Emily. I still love who she used to be, even though there's no going back. We had a good life before all this, and I wouldn't trade my children for anything. Oddly, learning its addiction has helped the kids. It's easier to say, "Mommy is sick, and getting better takes a long time, but she loves you," than to explain the rest. Right now, we're watching Madagascar 3 with Jason and his kids, and we're trying to stack up good memories. I think we'll be okay. Final update. Emily died of an overdose while in rehab. We don't know how she got the drugs. One doctor thinks she swallowed a bag that later ruptured, but nobody knows for sure. I won't be posting again. Thank you to everyone who offered real help and kind advice.